on automobiles or other things. Why don't we have a continuous so-called health monitoring? And quite a few in the industry think that more information is going to be bringing about more liability, and that's why I think this is a very good point that he raised.
So what is going to make your system successful?
I think the system would provide the technology that would be able to cater to the needs of the industry, and then whether or not the industry is going to actually utilize that goes beyond the research part of it, because that would be what is the other boundary conditions of the industry, such as the legal and liability and other issues.
So it's, my question really is similar to that one, and that deals with the sharing of information, control of information, and creating access in a way that provides more benefit. My question is in regard to, in the development of this cluster and the collaborative licensing and commercialization of technologies between these various institutions of innovation, what do you think are going to be the critical factors for success?
I can't say in the state of Florida. It's a little bit, to me, unique, and that the 11 state schools and the private schools, the technology transfer directors get together every 3 months, and they share information, and they work with ExpertNet, which is a state of Florida connection. Enterprise Florida is helping. EDC is here to stay and is successful. BioFlorida seems to be here to stay. Florida Research Consortium is here to stay. But for one great example of that is that, and an outcome, is that that group of people developed a license agreement that they were going to talk about tomorrow, but illness, the flu is here, and they were going to talk about tomorrow in its final stages, and it would be a license agreement that every university in the state of Florida would agree to use. So if someone comes to Florida from Eli Lilly or from Abbott or from Pfizer, they would recognize the agreement from the University of South Florida looks just like the one at the University of Miami, which would facilitate the bundling of technologies, taking technology A from one school and technology B from another school, and making it much more valuable than A plus B alone. So it's starting to work.
I also think there needs to be a critical mass effect that relates to a cluster. For example, it's nice to start a company, but if you don't have technicians, technologists, and scientists to be the employees of the company because they're not to be found, that's difficult. So we need affordable housing, we need support from the state and the counties, and we need to have it be perceived by scientists, technologists as a center of bioscience. So, I think that also becomes very important. And I do think that the collaboration between the schools is healthy and one that contributes to the greater good.
We have time for one more.
I'd like to ask the panelists about, is this working? I'd like to ask the panelists about what their reaction is to the problem of privacy in these medical records. That has been a problem. Every time I visit a physician, I have to sign a statement, which I never read, to make sure that that information is not going to be improperly used. I think that's one of the problems that I react to. The second one is that I heard the argument that the initial investment hurt medical records of an institution is about 5 to 10 times greater than the annual costs. So if you have to cough up the money up front to get into this business of automated and shared medical records, who is going to provide the capital for it?
You should answer it. Noel should answer it. The takers.
Privacy is certainly an issue. Actually, coming back to the question why we are not where we are, where we can be. bottom line is there are two factors. One is legal aspects. People are really worried about the privacy issues and where the information is going to go and so on. And if we put it somewhere on the internet, who is going to have access to this one, and whether the privacy can be maintained or not. Second issue really that we haven't discussed here is there is a resistance to change. There is a status quo. People have comfortable life. I'm talking about the medical professionals, and they don't see the need for changing this. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think in medical curriculum there should be a course where they can see the benefits of integrating the technologies into their practices, into the healthcare delivery process in all the healthcare aspects. And then slowly the things will start changing. Once we produce a generation of medical professionals who are tuned with the technology, then I think the things will start to change.
I'd like to thank all of our panelists for an excellent presentation.